Welcome to a balmy, beautiful, 15-degree Ohio February day. Man, I tell you what, it does not get much better than that in this state in February. I'm loving it today. But it is a little bit more interesting because I have this. This is the Naughty 9 from Witt Machine and Tool. And actually, I'm out here doing a suite of testing today on multiple of their cans. This is the Naughty 9, as I mentioned. I have the Dirty 30 over there, 30 cal, and the Canuter valve, which is the 5.56 variant. And we're going to be doing them all in today's video, and I have a little bit of a surprise there for you towards the end of the video. Do you know how things work here? We're going to hop into the testing. What I really want to see is accuracy, sound signature, and, of course, night stuff. The goal for Witt Machine in producing their own line of cans was to make a hearing-safe compact unit available at a price point that kept it below $500 for the suppressor and tax stamp, so that normal folks can afford it. Specs for all three of these devices are listed on screen. Pause the video now if you want to read through them more thoroughly. The attractive information for me is the stainless steel monocore construction and the dimensions. In particular, the Canuter valve's diameter, allowing them to fit under thin diameter rails that are becoming more and more the standard these days. That said, we've got a lot of ground to cover, so we're going to go ahead and see what these things can do. The first test that I like to lead off with on any can video is our absolute audio test. Now, let me explain something. There's a huge condenser microphone on top of this. There's actually two of them. But those microphones, while they're really good for capturing a whole bunch of stuff, they are really terrible at capturing high-end stuff or really low-end stuff. What they do is they basically take all of that audio and compress it down into a range that you can hear. So if there was something really, really loud, if we're talking like 167 decibels or something like that, something that you would have to wear hearing protection for, or I would have to wear hearing protection for, when you put your headphones on and watch it through either your phone or your computer, you're not getting 1-to-1. You're not getting 167 decibels. That would make no sense. You'd have to wear hearing protection to watch a video at home. So what that microphone does is it condenses all that information down into a usable format. Well, what that results in is a whole bunch of audio signals that don't sound the way they sound for real. So commonly what happens is, to give you a snapshot of what the can is doing, we'll use a really expensive meter to give you a readout of what the decibel rating at a particular distance of the can is. Well, those things cost like $10,000, $15,000. And to be honest, I don't know that that really gives you a whole lot of information. It gives you a number, and I think that companies should absolutely DB test their cans. However, I care less about that. I care more about what the can sounds like in the environment. So the test that I have devised and have used multiple times, I have a full video on this, but a recap of it is, we set the camera back away from the sight at a distance whereby the shield and the microphone give us a report that is in range for the detection of the device that you're listening to right now. And will be in range when I go to post, and in range for your device that you're listening in. And then we basically apply a correction factor to the loudest noise that we capture, and then show you what everything else looks like below it. And that's what we do. We're going to go ahead and do that for all three cans, starting right now. So in addition to a litany of functionality problems that are not Witt's fault whatsoever, it's a temperature problem and a lube freezing type thing. I don't think that I cleaned any of the grease off of any of those guns, and because it's cold, they're probably frozen. So it probably needs to be done, but I digress. Not their fault. But I do come to my first critique, and this was kind of a to be expected type thing, because when I pulled this can out of the box, or all the cans, excuse me, and this happened to all three of them, I could smell the red Loctite. And red Loctite is to never be used on a suppressor. It should be rock set. So really, this is more of like a final execution thing. So quick critique. Witt, I know rock set's expensive, but red Loctite is not doable. Now, this does give us a really good opportunity to take a look at the monocore that they've got going on in there. So that's the 9 Canuter valve. There you have it. The dirty 30. So there you have it. Anyway, this is not that big of a deal. Happens across the spectrum of cans. But when we have a can that is dependent on a rear thread like that, one of the hottest parts of the can, red Loctite is a no-go. Red Loctite period on cans is a no-go. Rock set. Oh shit. I think I might have just broke my foot. Just a few environmental factors working against us today. It is accuracy time, and whenever I shoot accuracy with a can, or for the purposes of testing a can, I like to use 1 caliber less. So we're going to be doing the Canuter valve on this one. So I've got a 17 WSM out here today. So this is a caliber less, and it is also a screamingly accurate gun. We really want to know what's going on inside the can and how much that vortex is impacting the bullet's trajectory. Here we go. So, just ice out of the way here. I pulled that one premature. Okay, that one looks a little bit better. I pulled that one, just kind of breathing out and it's staging the trigger, and the extra clothing and all that sort of stuff launched it an inch or so off. Okay, all three of those felt good. Let's go take a look. Keep in mind that is 7 shots. So what we've got here is the one that I pulled, 2 shots, and then the other right in there. So I'm going with negative on the point of impact shift. Looks pretty good. I want you guys to see these working conditions. See this? Freezing rain. 5.56 brass. Yeah. You know what that means, boys and girls? That means that it is just about time to start doing some night filming. We've got a lot of ground to cover tonight. Got a bunch of things to test, so I'm just gonna shut up. All right, it's about as dark as it's gonna get out here with all the snow. We have some decent moon, so we're gonna have a fair amount of light bouncing around tonight. That was more fun than it should have been. Okay. And last but not least, 4-inch 5.56. All right, I can tell you what I saw through my night vision. I don't know what you guys saw, but I'm gonna go with probably not good for 4-inch 5.56. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. We covered a lot of ground tonight. Recap when we get back inside. So this is like my 15th take, and I'm trying to find a way to say this without coming off like a prick. When it comes to suppressors, NFA really, but specifically suppressors, you get what you pay for. And this is a device that is designed to be a compact suppressor, a cost-effective suppressor, and for that there are some trade-offs that go along with that. So this can is designed to be a hearing-safe unit that provides some flash suppression capabilities, and I think that it does exactly that. Now, it may not be the most comfortable suppressor to shoot out there, but I thought that the 9 and the 300 blackout were just fine. I think that they are designed for a little bit longer barrel for most folks. All my stuff's short, so it's a little bit poppy on the shorter guns, just throwing it out there, but if you're shooting them on longer guns, then they're probably going to perform a lot better. Especially the Canuter valve. I think that the short 5.56 stuff, like, I really don't think that it's hearing safe on that sort of stuff. Now, I'd have to have a meter to confirm that, but it's not something that I would suggest that you shoot repeatedly without hearing protection. Now, what the Canuter valve does really, really well is 22, and that 17 WSM that we shot it on, I'll shoot that thing on that thing all day long. But as a 5.56 can, I think that it's rugged enough to handle 5.56. I just think that you need a longer barrel to do that. I definitely don't have a gun that's that length in barrel. Both the guns that we shot it on 5.56 were a 10.3 inch barrel and like a 4-inch Ragnarok. I think that the Canuter valve actually made it worse at night. But, you know, that's a really extreme case. That gun was almost specifically built to be a fire-breathing monster, which I thought was really funny that you put a can on the end of it and it made it worse. That can also did great on 5.7, so there's some data for you guys. Again, maybe a little bit longer barrel, like your 5-inch barrels may be a little bit too short for that particular thing. We did still have some carryover flash when we did that, but if you're doing like an 8-inch barrel or longer on a 5.7, it's probably great. But I promised there would be something that we'd talk about towards the end of the video that was pretty cool. These are the SME. So we have the 5.56 variant and the 30 cal over here. And these are SME, or sound moderating equipment. And essentially, they are a linear compensator. And these little guys are a lot of fun. I took the 5.56 one out. I have not shot the 30 cal. I think I will probably put this on a 308 or something like that. Probably a short barrel 308 just to see. But you can see that they start out as a muzzle device. And then this shroud goes down over top of it and turns it into a linear comp that throws the sound forward. And it's based on their suppressor designs, but you can see that that break has some cuts out of it to allow some flow through. So this is not classified as a suppressor, even though there are chambers inside of this sleeve here, because it allows the flow through. But I went out and shot these things in the dark, and actually, they did pretty good. This thing, I think, is probably one of the cooler things that they produce. And the other thing that's really awesome about this is that this thing fits underneath my Ragnarok's rail. And if you guys have never done this before, if you're running a really short barrel with a little bit longer rail, you cannot run a brake underneath of that thing, because it will damage the rail. It will literally, if your brake is powerful enough, it will blow holes in your rail, and probably your fingers too, so probably don't do that. If you start with this brake underneath and then you put this sleeve over top, it hangs out and it shields that rail so all the stuff can go forward, and you can still have that really compact short configuration. This thing just peeks out from the end ever so slightly, and it's not classified as a suppressor. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, then please sound off in the comment section down below. It really helps out with the algorithm. If you guys leave comments, like and share the video, interact with it in any way, shape, form possible, it really does help out. And please consider checking out our Patreon and Subscribestar pages to contribute directly to the VSO Gun Channel. We also have an affiliates page where there's discounts and affiliate links and things like that over there. All those links are in the description box down below. I love you guys. It's great to be here making some great content for you guys, and I had a great time testing these things out, as you can tell through the video, I think. And hopefully we'll see you on a future video here at the VSO Gun Channel.